What's up, y'all? So I haven't done a conspiracy video in a while, so this one's going to be about Cheeseman Park. It's in Denver, Colorado, and it's extremely haunted. Once upon a time ago, this place used to be a cemetery, but the city wanted to build a park instead. So they decided to start digging up and relocating all of the bodies. After a while, they decided that, gee, there's an awful lot of bodies here. We might pay a contractor to do it for us instead. The city was already making plans to build the park when they decided to hire an Edward P. McGovern to dig up all of the bodies and then relocate them 4 miles away. They charged him $1 and some change per casket, okay? Since it's a dirty job and he thought probably nobody will be investigating him, sneaky Mr. Edward P. McGovern started to chop up and mutilate the bodies. So since they were charging him per casket, he would then chop off a toe here, a foot here, an arm here, and put them in different caskets, and he would show the caskets to get paid for them, and there's just chopped up bodies laying around somewhere. Mr. McGovern didn't even finish the job, and he left roughly about 5,000 bodies that's still currently buried under Cheeseman Park today. The city notified all of the families who had loved ones that were buried under Cheeseman Park. So of course only the people who could afford to have the bodies dug up and relocated did, but many couldn't afford it, obviously, because that's a pretty penny. When it became day for the plans to start for the park and for the neighborhood, the city had found that there's many bodies that's still buried under there. Of course, there's some that had been removed, but the ones that were left were bodies that the relatives didn't care about them anymore. It was like murderers and child molesters who had died, or it was like bodies who didn't have families around anymore to relocate them. So because there was just so many, the city just decided to build the park on top of it. Between 2008 and 2010, over 50 bodies were found. And since people are now playing in this park and just hanging out, people are walking their dogs, occasionally people's dogs will start digging and they're picking up like hand bones and arm bones and foot bones, and like it's just everywhere, but people are still hanging out in Cheeseman Park. So present day, of course, this has become a place for teenagers to go in the middle of the night and scare themselves, and because of the bodies who were left there being like murderers and people whose relatives didn't care about them, murderous, headless, and limbless ghosts have been seen just moseying about the park at night. People often describe a headless woman walking around, so it's said that her body is at Cheeseman Park and her head was left at the other park 4 miles up the road. Many people also claim that if you lay on the ground at night, you can actually feel the ghosts move through the grass, something like that. So this park is still open. You can still go and visit and hang out in it. It's Cheeseman Park in Denver, Colorado. If you've been here, tell me what you think in the comments.